Hello YouTube, my name is John and this is the Maskface Journal. Today I'm going to talk to you about Star Trek Beyond. This is the non-spoiler version. First, I want to talk a little bit about the theater experience. We got this movie in the smallest theater in the cinema, so that kind of tells me that there's not much hope for this movie, which is weird because it's great. I mean, it is probably the best one in this timeline, the Kelvin timeline. That might not mean too much to die-hard Trekkies. I kind of count myself among them, but if you like the new movies, it's better than the previous two. Easily. At least easily better than Into Darkness, with the con bit that I could have lived without. Also, something that I didn't think I'd ever see in a movie premiere was people in costume. They actually came in uniform, and it was not the people you'd think would come in uniform, actually normal looking people. I want to talk a little bit about the trailer, the first one. It kind of lies to you. It's not representative of the movie. I mean, all the stuff in the trailer is in the movie, but it's really disingenuous. It makes it look like, Fast and the Furious Star Trek edition, and that is not what this is. I'd say this movie is actually more faithful to the spirit of Star Trek than any of the movies before this. I mean, it's not. It's still set in this timeline. It's still an action movie. It still focuses too much on action and on comedy to be truly in the spirit of original series Star Trek or any of the later series, really. But there is a heart there. People were worried about the song "Sabotaged" by Beastie Boys, and sure, that is a significant contribution to the plot of the movie. I'm gonna say that it totally fits with the tone of that moment, and it's not a problem. One of the criticisms I have of the other two movies in this timeline is that characters kind of get forgotten in the actiony mess, and this is not a problem in this movie. This movie has a lot of nice little character moments, and a lot of humor actually comes from the knowledge of these characters. There's a lot of humor coming from what we know from other versions of these characters. Like, for example, there's a joke about Kirk's tendencies to rip his shirts off. I'd say that most of the characters that we're familiar with are actually treated much better than this movie, with the possible exception of Uhura, who doesn't get much to do. She doesn't get much character, she doesn't have much action. But highlights are definitely Scotty and McCoy, Carl Urban and Simon Pegg, who wrote the movie. And Kirk is no longer a frat boy. He feels like a mature Captain Kirk, and that's a great thing for me. There's a lot of new and interesting alien character designs in this movie that feels pretty Star Trek-y. Some of them are sure CG creatures. It's that world we live in nowadays. You're not gonna get away from it. But most of the aliens are practical. There's some cool designs, certainly. There's one alien who kind of has a face hugger for a head. That's pretty cool. The new alien character they meet on the planet, Jayla, she's the white-faced alien with the black stripes and the long white hair. She's very sympathetic and very likable, and plays a key part in this movie. Some criticisms I have. Well, the action is shot pretty dark. Sometimes there's a lot of key action going on in the starship corridors that is really hard to see. That might be an issue with 3D, but it also might not be. I don't know, I've only seen it in 3D. Then there's certain camera twists and turns that makes the action hard to follow, especially in 3D. It made me a little bit dizzy, and that's not usually something that happens in 3D. Like I said, Uhura doesn't get much character development, and the villain initially seems kind of underdeveloped, but I'm not gonna hold that against the movie because that gets rectified at the end of the movie. The movie is very suspenseful. There are some moments that makes you actually sit at the edge of your seat. I definitely recommend you go see this movie. If you like action movies, if you like funny movies, and if you like Star Trek. If you soured on the other two movies in the series, this might actually turn you around on that. I'm not 100% sure you will, but I would give it a chance if I were you. Did you like this video? Like, comment, and subscribe. If you didn't like it or disagree with me, tell me in the comments. If you've already seen this movie or don't care about spoilers, check out the spoiler video I'm posting next. I am out of here.